The world has gone quiet. The streets that once echoed with laughter and miracles now stand still, haunted by questions no one dares to ask. They saw him rise. They saw the stone rolled away. But where is he now? A cold wind sweeps through the broken walls of Jerusalem, carrying whispers of fear and hope. Some believe it's over. Others believe it's only the beginning. The camera drifts over deserted alleys, candles flickering in dark rooms, faces hidden in shadows, disciples waiting for a sign. The silence is heavy, like the air before a storm. And then, a single heartbeat breaks it. He promised he'd return. The whisper fades, but the promise stays. A low hum fills the background, the sound of time holding its breath. The city of Jerusalem sleeps under gray clouds. Dust moves across the empty streets. The light of dawn struggles to break through. Every corner feels like it's waiting. For something unseen, the camera moves slowly through narrow streets, passing broken pottery, a fallen cart, and the traces of a crowd long gone. We see glimpses, a woman kneeling in silence, a man clutching a torn cloth, the mark of a cross drawn faintly in the dirt. There's no dialogue yet, just the sound of wind and the faint cry of a distant bird. Then, footsteps. Slow, heavy, echoing off stone walls. A figure cloaked in shadow walks through the silence, a follower, eyes filled with sorrow. His hand brushes a doorpost where a palm leaf still hangs. Dry and forgotten. Voiceover deep, calm, emotional. Days have passed since the stone rolled away. The world waits and wonders. What happens after a miracle? What comes after hope? A faint rumble of thunder rolls through the sky. The camera tilts upward. Storm clouds gathering, light breaking through in streaks. A symbol of something greater, something about to begin, inside a dimly lit room. A group of men and women sit close together, faces hidden by shadows. They speak in whispers, fear and faith mixing in every breath. Whisper female voice, they took him, then he rose. But now he's gone again. What are we supposed to do? A pause. Silence stretches. Then, one of them looks up, eyes burning with quiet resolve. Man softly. He said we would see greater things. The camera zooms out, the group framed by candlelight. The flame flickers, nearly dies, then steadies again. The voiceover returns, this time with a deeper tone. A weight of destiny behind every word. When the world goes silent, that is when faith speaks the loudest. Even in the dark, the chosen must listen. The hum grows louder, strings and drums rising slowly. The camera pans toward a single open window. Outside, the first drop of rain falls. Lightning flashes, cut to black. A single line appears on screen. The silence is ending. The music fades, leaving only the sound of rain. Soft and steady, like a heartbeat returning. The rain has stopped. But the fear hasn't. The streets are quiet again, not with peace, but with the weight of being watched. Every shadow feels alive. Every whisper sounds like betrayal. Voiceover steady. Low tone. When the shepherd was taken, the flock lost its way. Soft beat begins, slow drums echoing like footsteps in the dark. The camera moves between alleys and small homes, showing faces we know, the followers, now separated. Each one hides in a different corner of the world, carrying pieces of the same memory. One disciple walks through a narrow street, his robe pulled tight against the wind. He glances over his shoulder. Roman soldiers pass nearby, torches lighting their armor. The glow flickers across his face, fear mixed with faith. Voiceover. They were hunted, blamed, broken, yet, in the silence, a voice still called to them. The screen flashes with quick cuts. A woman kneels in prayer, whispering his words to a child. Another man hides scrolls beneath a wooden floor. A torch burns low beside a cracked wall marked by a faint symbol of a fish. It's a secret sign of believers. Male whisper. If we speak his name, they'll come for us. Female reply. If we stay silent, we lose him. Deep breath. The woman raises her eyes, determined, trembling, alive. Voice dash over, softer, emotional. They feared death. but feared forgetting him more. The music grows, strings begin to rise, the sound of hope hidden under sorrow. We see Peter sitting alone by a dying fire. His hands shake as he holds a piece of bread. Rain drips from the roof, landing on the ashes. He whispers to the night, barely holding his voice. Peter hoarse, breaking, "I told him I would never deny him." And yet, he looks up, eyes wet. "But if there's still breath in me, I'll follow." The fire flickers brighter for a moment, then dies. Voice dash over deep, rising tension. In their doubt, they found a choice: to flee or to rise. The camera spins, flashes of soldiers breaking doors, believers running through the night, scrolls burning, prayers shouted in the dark. Then silence. A single image remains, a candle still burning on a windowsill untouched. The camera closes in until the flame fills the screen. Voiceover, calm, resolute. Faith was never meant to be safe. Candle's flame flares bursting into light, cut to black. On-screen text, they tried to silence them. But truth cannot die. The music fades, leaving only a heartbeat, slow, strong, defiant. The night is ending. The storm that broke their hearts has passed, leaving the world washed clean, quiet, trembling alive again. From the darkness, a soft light begins to grow. Not from the sun, but from something deeper. The kind of light that doesn't blind, it calls. Voiceover calm, steady. Every ending carries the seed of a beginning. Every tear waters the soil of faith. See it. A small group gathered on a hillside before dawn. Their faces are worn from running, their eyes heavy with loss. But as the horizon turns gold, one of them stands. Slowly, silently, he raises his head toward the light. A breeze moves through the grass. The earth feels still, listening. Whisper female voice, faint. "Do you feel it?" Male reply, "It's like he's still here." The music begins softly, a slow rise of strings and gentle choir hums. It's almost like breathing. The camera shifts, a single ray of sunlight breaks through the clouds, falling upon their faces. Dusk glows like gold in the air. In that moment, you can almost hear his words again, not through sound, but through memory. Voiceover. He is gone from sight, but not from spirit. The promise was not buried in the tomb. It walks among them still. Cut to a quiet scene. A young woman draws water from a well. Her hands shake as she looks into the reflection. For a brief second, the water ripples, and a reflection that isn't hers stares back. She gasps, dropping the bucket. The sound fades into stillness. The camera pans up to the sky. Clouds moving fast. Light breaking through. Voiceover stronger. Filled with emotion. When hope seems lost, that's when it returns. Not in thunder or fire, but in whispers and courage. Cut to quick flash as a hand reaches out to help another. A loaf of bread is shared among the hungry. A child laughs in the street as his mother weeps with joy. The followers begin to gather again. One by one, the tone shifts from sorrow to strength. Whisper male, urgent. They say he's been seen. Outside the city, walking among the olive trees, stunned silence follows. The music rises sharply, a mix of strings and drums. Heartbeat quickening. The followers exchange looks, disbelief turning into wonder. Voiceover, whispered. Hope doesn't return as it left. It comes back stronger. The camera sweeps across a mountain ridge. Sunlight bursting behind it. A figure walks in the distance, too far to see clearly, but close enough to stir every soul watching. Cut to black. On-screen text, he said he would never leave us. The sound of a heartbeat fades into a soft choir. The tone is no longer sorrowful, it's alive. Voice dash over final line for the section, and so they rise not in fear, but in faith. The screen stays black for a moment. Then a single spark of light flickers. As if a new story is about to begin, the air feels different now. Not heavy like before, but alive, pulsing with something unseen. The kind of quiet that comes before a miracle. Voice dash over calm, powerful. From the ashes of doubt, faith breathes again. The door creaks open. Morning light spills into a small room. The disciples blink as if seeing the world for the first time. Dust glitters in the air like stars, and for a brief moment, silence feels holy. One of them steps forward, hesitant but brave. He looks at the others and says softly, "We were called to follow, not to hide." The camera lingers on his face, fear fading into courage. Cut 2. Montage of renewal. Hands repairing broken nets by the sea. A woman tending to the sick. Children laughing as they run through olive groves. Hope returning, not in shouts, but in simple acts of love. Voiceover. They remembered his words, not as stories, but as a way to live. A child brings bread to a stranger. A man helps lift a fallen cart while others join in. The world, once broken, begins to heal itself, one heart at a time. The music swells, strings and soft choir, harmonizing with distant drums, voiceover, rising emotion. It wasn't power they sought. It was purpose. Camera moves to a hilltop, the wind sweeping through wild grass. A figure stands alone, gazing toward the horizon. The light around him burns gold. Whisper female voice. "Is it him?" Male reply whispered no, but he sent them. We see the disciples walking down the hill, faces calm but determined, the sun behind them like fire. They move through villages, touching lives, spreading the message without fear. Voiceover steady, resonant. The world that turned against them will soon hear their voices. The message will not fade. It will rise. Cut 2 dramatic flashes, hands lifted in prayer as torches burn in the distance. Water poured over a newborn's head. A man healed, his eyes wide with wonder. The soundtrack rises, strings, drums, and choir blending into something epic. Celestial voice, dash over bold, inspired. They walked in his shadow. Now they walk in his light. But close-up of a disciple's hand touching a wooden door, leaving behind the faint imprint of a cross. The wind grows louder, not harsh, but alive, carrying their words beyond the frame. Voiceover soft but firm. This is not the end of the story. This is the start of the calling. The camera pulls back, rising above the land, golden fields stretching for miles. Tiny figures move across the earth, small but unstoppable. Cut to black. On-screen text, "A new dawn has risen." Then a faint echo, the same voice that once said, "Follow me." The music fades to stillness, leaving only the sound of a heartbeat. Steady, eternal. The light that once warmed them now burns. The same streets that echoed his name are filled with the sound of marching boots. Faith has found its cost, and it's written in smoke. Voice dash over deep, haunting they believed, and for that belief, they were hunted. A door crashes open. Soldiers rush in. The disciples scatter, robes trailing in the dust, hearts pounding in the dark. Cut 2 flashes, hands seized, scrolls torn apart. A woman's cry echoing through a stone alley. Candle knocked over, flame devouring parchment. The music roars, drums pounding like thunder, strings trembling with grief. Voiceover low, echoing, "Faith is easy in the light. But what of the fire?" Storm brews over Jerusalem, black clouds curling like smoke. Lightning splits the sky as a man kneels in the rain, bound in chains. His eyes are bruised, but steady. Roman soldier angry. "Say his name again, and you die." The man lifts his head, blood on his lips, a faint smile forming. Disciple whispers, "Then let my death speak his name." A flash of lightning silence follows. The sound of chains falling, voiceover rising. Fierce, they were not warriors, yet they fought, not with swords, but with truth. Cut to a series of quick emotional shots. A young follower running through the night, clutching a small wooden cross. Another hides a child behind a wall before facing the soldiers. A group kneels together in the dark, singing softly as flames surround them. The music breaks into choral cries, desperate but beautiful, voice over intense, almost shouting. When faith is tested, it does not break, it burns brighter. Fire spreads through a small village, rooftops collapsing, smoke rising to the heavens. Through the haze, One silhouette stands still, stilling. The camera closes in. It's Peter again, his face illuminated by the flames. Peter firmly through tears. We will not be silent. Not now. Not ever. The fire glows behind him, painting the scene in gold and red, pain and glory intertwined. The soundtrack swells, violins climbing, drums thundering, voices chanting softly in the distance. Voiceover resolute, powerful. They took their homes, their names, their peace. But they could not take the promise. The screen fades to black, only the crackle of fire remains. Then, silence. A single spark drifts upward through the dark. It glows brighter, brighter, till it bursts into a cross of light. On-screen text, their pain became their power. VoiceOverFinal.com/unbroken, faith tested by fire, becomes unshakable. The music fades into a single note, quiet, defiant, eternal. The flames have died, but their light remains. Smoke drifts above the ruins, curling toward the heavens like a prayer. Out of the silence, footsteps echo slow, steady, determined. Voiceover, gentle, solemn. When the world turned against them, they did not fall. They stood in the ashes and began again. A faint breeze moves through the scorched fields. The first rays of dawn stretch across the hills, bathing the broken land in gold. And there among the ruins the followers walk. Their faces are scarred, their clothes torn, but their eyes burn bright. Each carries something, a loaf of bread, a torn scroll, a child. They do not look back. They walk forward, step after step. Voiceover soft, full of hope. Faith was not the absence of fear. It was the choice to keep walking, even through fire. The camera glides across the landscape, a mother whispering a prayer over her son. Two disciples planting a seed in the burned soil. An old man handing his last piece of bread to a stranger. Life returning, quietly. The music begins. Soft piano, slow strings, heartbeat steady beneath it. Voiceover. They built no temples of stone, but temples of hearts. They carried his word not in books, but in their breath. A young girl runs through tall grass, laughter echoing. She carries a small wooden cross around her neck. The camera tilts up, sunlight breaking through the clouds above her. Whisper female voice. He kept his promise, never left. The tone shifts from sorrow to sacred peace. See them gathering once more under an open sky. Peter steps forward, standing before the group. His voice is tired but strong. Peter quietly. He told us the world would hate us, but he also said, I have overcome the world. They bow their heads. The wind moves through the scene, gentle but full of life, like the breath of God itself. Voiceover, firm, uplifting. They had lost everything, and yet they had gained eternity. The music swells, the choir joins, soft but powerful. Images flash, hands lifted toward the sun, a wave crashing against the shore. A child's hand clutching a single olive branch, then stillness. The camera rises above the land, endless horizon, its light spilling over the world. Voiceover final for this section. The message survived the fire. The chosen did not fade. They became the flame, cut to black. On-screen text. The Chosen Season 6 coming 2026 #. The Chosen #faith continues. The final sound. A heartbeat turning into the whisper of wind. Carrying one last line, voice soft, eternal. The mission has just begun. The screen stays black for a long moment. No music, no sound. Only silence, like the world is holding its breath. Then, faint spark. A single torch flickers in the darkness, illuminating a stone corridor. The air is cold, heavy with dust. Each echo of footsteps sounds distant, as if someone is walking between worlds, voiceover low. Uncertain, they thought it was over. But the story of light always leaves a shadow. The torchlight wavers, revealing the walls' carved symbols worn by time. A hand brushes across them, steady, searching. It's not clear whose hand it is. Rough, scarred, determined. The flame grows brighter for a moment, then dims, as if sensing something nearby. Sound design. A faint whisper, distant, almost like wind. But then it repeats. Human, soft, deliberate, whisper, unknown voice. They will come for you. The camera pans slowly to the end of the corridor. A figure stands in the faint light, cloaked, still, unreadable. Only their eyes glow faintly from beneath the hood. A gust of wind snuffs out the torch. Darkness consumes everything. Voice dash over faint, ominous, and they will not stop till the truth is silent. Suddenly, a blinding flash of light, the figure turns sharply, cloak swirling, and walks into the brightness. The sound of footsteps fades into a low, echoing heartbeat. The music returns, soft, eerie, powerful strings and whispers intertwining. Voice. Distant but truth cannot be buried. Cut to black. A symbol appears, glowing faintly like fire beneath ash. The same mark seen on the walls before, a circle, a cross, and 3 lines. Burning gold. On-screen text, slow fade. He's not gone, he's waiting. Season 6, 2026. The final sound, a single breath, deep and calm, like someone waking from a dream. Then silence. A faint whisper echoes one last time, almost too quiet to hear. The Chosen will rise again. The screen cuts to black. Logo fades in, the Chosen glowing like embers. Music ends.